Ontario's Inspector General of Policing is making an announcement about a potential investigation into the alleged Toronto police corruption. Let's listen in live now.
People encounter police at moments of crisis, when they are frightened, injured, grieving, or in immediate danger. In those moments, public trust is not abstract. It determines whether people will seek help, whether they will cooperate, tell the truth, and accept protection. Without this trust, even lawful authority loses legitimacy, and public safety is weakened for everyone. Police officers intent on criminality also may not confine themselves to a single police service. By moving between organizations to evade detection, their conduct follows them, meaning weaknesses in oversight or standards do not remain isolated to a single organization or community, but can, if left unchecked, undermine the entire system. If there are vulnerabilities within the systems currently in place in Ontario's policing sector, or in the standards that it must adhere to, it is essential that they are identified so meaningful, system-wide improvements can be made. Rebuilding public trust also requires more than words. It requires action. And that is why today I am announcing an independent, province-wide inspection into the ability of Ontario's police services and boards to prevent, detect, respond to, and fortify their organizations against corruption and ensure integrity. Although this issue originated with the Toronto Police Service, we have since learned that other organizations may be impacted. And in any event, incidents like these understandably shake public trust in policing more broadly. It's important to acknowledge the real questions the public is asking and the potential effect these questions may have on their confidence in Ontario's policing system. This province-wide inspection will be conducted under the authority of Ontario's Community Safety and Policing Act, the province's policing legislation, and it will focus on 5 defined areas, with the ability to examine additional ones as the inspection unfolds. These areas are first, supervision and span of control, including how officers are supervised and how effective that supervision is. Strong supervision reinforces professional conduct and performance expectations, and it ensures that legal obligations under the Charter, human rights legislation, and other law is understood, applied, and proactively upheld to prevent breaches before they occur. Second, screening and vetting of officers, both at recruitment and on an ongoing basis as they move through their careers in an organization, to determine whether police personnel meet and continue to meet the high standards we expect, as well as the prescribed qualifications and suitability requirements. The third issue, access to police databases and information systems, including clear permissions, controls, and safeguards. These are essential to protect sensitive information and prevent unauthorized access or misuse, and better identify potential misuse at the earliest possible opportunity. Fourth, evidence and property management, which are governed by regulatory requirements. Chiefs must have procedures in place, police boards must provide policy oversight, and this governance must be adhered to ensure the integrity of evidence handling throughout the system. And fifth, substance abuse and fitness for duty, ensuring that wellness supports are there for police service members who do the hard work on our behalf and often suffer the health consequences as a result of it, while also ensuring that those that put on their uniform are able to serve their shift properly and without risk to themselves or others. Given the scope of these issues and the importance of this inspection being conducted in a timely manner, I will appoint an external person as an inspector under the Act outside of government to lead this work, bringing the expertise, a singular focus, and rigorous methodology that this important work requires. Once appointed, this individual will have the same statutory authorities that I do as Inspector General to obtain any information relevant to this inspection. Importantly, this inspection also can and must be conducted in a way that does not compromise or interfere with the still ongoing criminal investigation or prosecutions resulting from charges laid. Those processes are also vital for accountability and public trust, and so we will ensure this inspection unfolds with those appropriate safeguards in place. At the conclusion of this sector-wide inspection, the inspector will provide me with their report outlining their independent findings based on their assessment of the information and the evidence. I will review that findings report to determine whether there has been any non-compliance with policing legislation, including a failure to provide adequate and effective policing. And if there has been non-compliance, I must then determine whether to issue any legally binding directions that will require action and implementation to ensure compliance and for improvements across the system to be made. I'm also committed to ensuring that the work of the Inspectorate of Policing is always transparent. We are the oversight body here on behalf of the people of Ontario. Therefore, any directions I may issue that flow from this inspection, along with the inspector's report, will be publicly posted on our website when the time comes for everybody to see. Our work is done in the public interest, and the public will always know what we are doing and why we are doing it. And importantly, that work will not end there. If I issue directions, the Inspectorate of Policing also has the legislative duty to monitor progress of how those directions are being implemented, that they're being implemented effectively, and that they're achieving their intended outcomes. As the Inspector General of Policing of Ontario, an independent provincial authority, and the only role of its kind in Canada, my responsibility is to ensure that every police service and every police service board in the province complies with applicable law, meets provincial standards of policing, and ultimately delivers adequate and effective policing to the people of Ontario. By identifying gaps, addressing them, dealing with weaknesses that may exist in the system that allow corruption to take effect, this work will strengthen the Ontario policing system overall. And in strengthening the system, this work will also support police service members in delivering high-quality services that the public can have confidence in, as the almost 40,000 individuals in this province continue to do the hard work to keep all of us safe. It is essential that we address issues of corruption and police integrity directly, that they are probed independently, and in a way that helps rebuild that trust to an even stronger place than it stands today. This is a responsibility that I and my team take seriously. I want to underscore that the mandate of the Inspectorate of Policing reflects our commitment to serving the public interest. It demonstrates our resolve to confront the most serious challenges facing Ontario's policing system with clarity, with purpose, and with independence. And it is a mandate that applies independent oversight to continue to build the best policing system that we can, and that we all, the public and police service members themselves, deserve. Independent oversight is not to be feared. It must and should be embraced. Ontario's modernized policing legislation, just under 2 years old now, provides a system in which oversight bodies have the tools and the authority to follow information wherever it leads and to make independent decisions not just recommendations, about what must be done to strengthen policing in Ontario. We also have a system in which chiefs and boards recognize the importance of coming forward when something goes wrong, but feel confident in doing so, bringing matters to our attention when they believe the tools of independent oversight need to be applied to repair and restore. While difficult, this is exactly the kind of action that was required, and it demonstrates the effectiveness of the systems that we do have in place. Taken together, these elements are critical to sustaining and continuing to earn public trust and confidence. I want to thank the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police and the Ontario Association of Police Service Boards, who have representatives here today, for embracing this independent inspection and the principles of independent oversight. It is important and should be noted that these organizations representing all chiefs and boards in Ontario are here today. I have said in my many engagements right across Ontario with services and boards in every corner of this province that there would be times when my team and I would need to ask the difficult questions the public deserves to have answered, that we will always do so with respect and integrity. This inspection will be no exception. My purpose is to drive meaningful improvements that strengthen Ontario's policing sector by elevating the performance of police services when it comes to issues of corruption and integrity, enhancing governance, and ultimately advancing the safety of all of our communities. Thank you for your time, and with that, I'm happy to take your questions.
Inspector, do you have a timeline? When could we expect the report?
Thanks for the question. I understand that the public is watching. I understand that these issues need to be dealt with and addressed swiftly. But I'm also committed to doing so properly. And so as I go through the process of appointing an inspector, as we scope out the details of what this inspection will cover, we will continue to be transparent and keep the public informed, recognizing that these questions need to be answered quickly, but answered in a way that they're answered once and strengthen the system overall.
Sorry, so is it a one-time thing, or is this going to be an ongoing investigation that, like, are you going to be permanently kind of providing oversight over these police agencies?
So in terms of this inspection, it will be a singular inspection, but it will be province-wide. So it will look at the entire sector across Ontario. Once the inspection is complete, the inspector will provide a findings report, which we will make public, and then decisions will be made about what, if any, directions need to be imposed. That is this work. But the ongoing work that we do every day in monitoring compliance by police services and boards will continue. And once this inspection is over, that monitoring will also include the actions that we believe need to be put in place. So the work will always continue, even once the inspection is over.
This external person you're going to appoint, can you give us a sense of what kind of person, like what background you're looking for, what qualifications will they have? And again, why the decision to appoint someone externally? Is it because your office doesn't have enough resources to do it yourself?
So I'll take those in turn. Obviously, we want to make sure that the person who does this work has the experience and the expertise, that they understand the world of policing, but they can bring the right tools and rigor to the work that is required, along with the necessary independence. And once I appoint them under the Act, they will be empowered, as I am, as all of our inspectors are, to seek any information that is relevant to the inspection from any police service or board in Ontario. In terms of why an outside person, the reason is that we want to make sure, to the earlier question, that this work is focused, that it is the top priority and only priority of this individual. And so the Inspectorate of Policing can continue to do the rest of the work that we do every day while this work is ongoing and gets the dedicated attention that it deserves.
Does it address the criticism that we've heard about, you work for the Toronto Police Services Board, you know the chief. Is this independent inspector, is that meant to address some of that concern, the conflict of interest or appearance of it?
Well, I'll say a couple of things about that. First and foremost, it's important to remember my announcement today is about a province-wide inspection. It's not a single police service, it's all 45 and their boards. Secondly, the CSPA, the Community Safety Policing Act, builds in safeguards to ensure that these conflicts don't manifest in our work and that the independence can be maintained. We do that every day in the work that we do currently. And so we would always make sure that those safeguards are in place. But yes, an important additional safeguard that I'm putting in place is to bring somebody in from outside with the right expertise and the ability to dedicate their focus and attention on this.
Include the OPP as well?
And we are just listening right now to the Inspector General of Policing announcing an independent, province-wide independent inspection into the ability of Ontario's police service to examine corruption. And this person will be an external person as an inspector. You will appoint that person.